I would say it is unprecedented in the whole history of humanity that so many people have been brought under control at any one time. We have, 7.7 billion people on this planet, and at least 6 billion of them are obeying the rules and regulations that are supposed to keep us alive. I'll be honest, I'm not quite convinced that this virus is as virulent as they say. Not for a moment am I saying it doesn't kill. But I'm also questioning how many really healthy people does it kill. Most of the elderly are most vulnerable, many of the elderly, and they are not well. We're all being controlled for our own welfare. Okay, I'll accept that, for our own welfare. And it's going to cause an incredible recession. I mean, there's no question about it. Many people are going to be completely bankrupt at the end of this. It'll cause a depression or recession such as we may have never experienced in our modern age. This is all part of the price we pay, we're told. It's unavoidable, we're told. But what it does, it breaks down our resistance to life. We're having compulsory vaccinations, compulsory this, compulsory that, always to the betterment of the whole. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. You can no more force people to be something that they don't want to be. So today a lot of people are being contained. This is causing an untold amount of misery for a lot of people. All this has boiled down to a form of control of us. And my question is, when this all ends, will we still be controlled? Will we have accepted that we should be controlled? This morning I learned they don't expect this to peak now until November. So we're looking at 6 months of being contained and controlled. A lot of people will learn and be programmed in that time. They'll learn and create a new habit, a habit of being controlled and contained. And quite honestly, I think this is very much part of it. So we're in a time where humanity's reached the end of a vast cycle, 200,000 year cycle. We've had many of these cycles. As far as I'm concerned, this is the ending of the 5th cycle. It's coming to an end. Why is it coming to an end? Because humanity has lost the plot. Human beings, we of humanity, we are the created evolution of consciousness on this planet. As we evolve, the planet evolves. Nature is a natural evolution of consciousness on this planet. And nature has continued its evolution. It has a biological program. It follows it. But we don't have a biological program. We're creators. We don't have a program to follow. And so we, each of us, have to tune in to self, to the whole, to God, however one likes to put it, to create our own evolution in consciousness. Modern science today doesn't give credit to a rock to have consciousness. In metaphysics, everything has consciousness. Consciousness is. Everything is energy. Everything that has energy is consciousness. And so I don't agree with modern science, much of it. Much of it I'll take my hat off to and bow. Well done. In many ways, people today look at humanity as one wave of energy moving forward. There is one humanity, one energy, yes. But what we're learning is individualization. We've got a long way to go with that. You've only got to see a mob panic and trample people. And on the smallest level, you see that at Christmas sales, where people rush in through the doors and some elderly people are knocked over and trampled. I mean, how is that possible? In a store, but it happens. And so the mob instinct is still there in us. This scenario where we're not really in control of ourselves. So we're in the stage of developing individuality. And those who are developing individuality are free to make choices. those who are still locked in what we'll say is consensus reality. Consensus reality is where everybody agrees to the same sort of reality. But then there's a personal reality within consensus reality. Then there is global reality where all the countries with their consensus reality all come into one common belief. Like yesterday's past and you can't change the past. I'm not going into it, but actually you can. Because yesterday isn't past and tomorrow isn't the future. We live in the eternal moment, the now. And that now expands forward or backward, however you like to look at it. The simple reality is, as soon as we use language, we're moving away from the truth. Because you can't speak it. Because as soon as you create linear time with your language, which we do, and which I'm doing, because we have no other way, then we're moving away from the truth. And we are so far away from the truth as human beings, the truth of who we are, the truth of humanity, the truth of life, the truth of time, which we've created. We're so far away from this, we're completely lost. And in our lostness, we become vulnerable. And in our vulnerability, we become prey. We develop victim consciousness. And there are those who feed on victim consciousness. There are those on this planet who do not have our welfare at heart. There are those who, for centuries, have started a process of controlling us. And we're reaching an apex, or pinnacle rather, of that control. Now, this doesn't frighten me personally, not at all, but it's frightening a lot of people. Today people are panicking. I don't call this a pandemic. We certainly have the panic, and this crazy behaviour seems to be becoming endemic to people. But pandemic, 1919, that was a pandemic, when we ended up with between 50 and 70 million dead. And do you know, it's all over in a couple of months, and yet it hasn't gone. It's still here. It hasn't left the earth. It hasn't left humanity. It's still waiting in the wings. What this shows me, as an observer, is that people panic easily. We're a courageous people to be born on this planet, to make the choice, to move into the cycle was courageous, but we've lost touch with who we are. How do we move forward? I often say to people, who are you? And the honest ones can only give me an identity. But identity dies. So who are you? Because we're eternal beings. We are eternal souls. Today in our ignorance we talk of my soul. But you can't talk of your soul. You are the soul who can talk of your body. But not the body personality talk of my soul. That to me is always a statement of ignorance. I am a soul with a body personality, as are you. And it's soul to soul now. I want to connect. I want to say to you that there is a way out of this. And that way is by choosing love. So what is love? Because love is not an emotion. Love is the power of creation. So let's look at this. Everything is one. There's one energy. And that energy is being controlled by a few people, this mass energy. There is one energy. And there is one humanity. There isn't different countries and different nations. We create all that. There is one humanity. And this humanity is completely lost. We're brainwashed into believing you have to succeed. You have to make money. And if you make money, you're a success. And if you don't make money, you're a failure. And so the people who are the few sad, sick and sorry people who are trying to control the masses are wealthy beyond belief. They have money beyond the belief. But they're just as insecure as you are. They want power. They want power over you. They want to control everything. We're reaching a time when they either take complete control of everything or they lose it completely. And I'm a voice that says they're going to lose it. And there's one way to do it. You choose love. Because love is the power of creation. And when you choose love, you raise the frequency of yourself. But you see, you're not alone. You're humanity. The idea that you're a single person is just the mind playing games. It's not real. You are humanity. And when you realize your humanity and you choose to love yourself, then you are loving humanity and the frequency lifts. And the people who are trying to control us, they are of a lower frequency. They do not want a frequency lift. And so what are they setting up to do? To create a pandemic of fear. I mean, think about it. Pretty well certainly today, this virus is man-made. So why do you make a virus and release it into humanity? For their well-being? Oh, this is going to do a lot of good. This will be great stuff. You do it to get exactly what's happened today. The governments to help control you. And the governments are as fooled as we are, most of them, to control. And so there's no way forward in this. But when you choose love, sorry, what I was saying was, so what they are creating is fear. F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. It is not real. It's all based in lies and deception. It's like a great illusion, and they are the illusionists, and we're buying into the illusion. And people are panicking. There is global fear today, and global fear lowers the frequency. It lowers the energy of everything on this planet. It lowers the energy of humanity. We've cut down all the old growth forests. They're pretty well all gone. They were our counterbalance on this planet, because the probability of the way we would be as a wild, precocious child running set loose with machine guns, that we wouldn't do this too well. And we've lived up to that probability. And so there is a counterbalance on this planet. You notice there are no trees on Mars. And that's not where we're doing it. We're not doing it on Mars, we're doing it here. We're doing it here, on this planet. And there were old forests. We're doing it on a planet with a life force that counterbalanced ours. So what do? Chop them all down. Get rid of them all. There's no counterbalance now to our levels of fear. There's no counterbalance now to our being victimized. There's no counterbalance other than the one you create. And that counterbalance is using your power as a creator to create love. To create love in humanity. To create love for you in you. To create love for your family. To create a love where you have no enemies. To create a love that where you love even these people who are trying to control us all. Where you create a love that raises the whole frequency of this planet, and they're undone. They come to an end. And if this sounds an alarmist thing, no. But I want you to realise that we don't just continue more of the same. We either go downhill rapidly from here or we rise. Individuals are already rising, but the mass consciousness, the consensus reality is in serious danger of plunging. And when you choose love, your immunity grows, your energy grows, your vitality grows, and lifts the planet with it. That's the direction you need to choose. To do it, you choose love.